So there's recently been a quote unquote price leak for the Steam machine. I put that in quotes because it's from some retailer from some other company, and they no one really knows if it's a placeholder price, and this company might be including tax and like some other markup, and no one really knows. I put it in rumor territory, but it's something like that. The Steam machine is going to be around $1,000. And I've seen a lot of news online and articles and just reactions of people having sticker shock. $1,000 for a Steam machine. This is dead on arrival. And now the validity of this rumor really isn't important for this video and discussion because at $1,000, that got me thinking. I'm like, okay, is the Steam machine worth $1,000? I think the PS6 is going to be $1,000. I think the next Xbox is going to be maybe even possibly $1,500. So the Steam machine at $1,000, is that worth it to me? And so it got me thinking of all the pros and cons. And I got 5 reasons why, for me, I actually think that the Steam machine for even at $1,000, I think I would still want to pick this up and add it to my gaming collection. So the first reason, let's get it out of the way. It's the most obvious one. I just want clean access to my Steam library on a TV. I'm primarily a console gamer. I mean, I have a 3080 PC. That's what I'm using right now to record on. I just like playing on consoles and on the couch, up at the TV, and just I have like 200 games on my Steam library, and I just don't really interact with that library all that much. But the best part about Steam that most people know is how cheap the games can be on sale. And not even just the Steam sales, but stuff like Humble Bundle and other key sites. I mean, I literally a couple weeks ago, maybe it's been a month now, got 17 Lego games for $15. That's less than $1 per game. I mean, you can't beat some of these deals sometimes. And just to get more access to that library in different environments where I play more often, it's just clearly a benefit. And obviously, that's the benefit for the Steam machine for people who are like me, who are more console gamers, to give us that console experience. Okay, this second reason, though, it really changed my mindset about the Steam machine. See, lately I've been looking into the Superstation 1 and debating if I wanted to get it or not with the additional disk drive. If you don't know what that is, it's a FPGA system that runs a bunch of like the FPGA emulation cores, and it also you can get an optional disk drive for like $40 that can play physical PlayStation games. It's shaped like a PlayStation, and I was like, oh man, that'd be awesome on this retro setup I'm building because I just got the analog 3D. I'm loving it. I'm like, oh, here's a way I can. I don't have that big of a physical PlayStation 1 collection, but it'd be really nice to be able to buy PlayStation 1 games, and I do have some. But then, I was thinking like, but I have a PS2 already, so that can play PS1 games. And really what I wanted it for was for just like emulating other consoles too, like, PlayStation 1 and below. Of course, I already have the N64, so I don't necessarily need it. But, a lot of people have Steam Decks for just an emulation machine. And, the more I was thinking about it, when I thought of the Steam machine, I was initially disappointed with, as people point out, how underpowered it is. And I always thought I'd put it on that TV, my big home theater setup where I have my modern games. And that'd be the place I'd put like a new Xbox 2 if I got it. But because it's underpowered, I feel like I can justify more putting it on the weaker TV over there with my other retro game consoles and really leveraging it as more of an emulation machine. Now, I know for $1,000, if I wanted to do something like that, I could build my own PC, anything like that, much cheaper. But I really don't have the time or desire to want to tinker around like that. Like I do like consoles. I want that console experience, and so to be able to get that and have my Steam games with a clean Steam interface. Okay, that's important. Is the clean Steam interface all right there, so I can play my Steam games. Probably my low-powered Steam games, of course, over there. And also, you run emulation. So, yeah, I'll have a GameCube there and like a PlayStation 2 and, be able to play my physical games on there and then I really want to get a RetroTink 4K so I can get the CRT filters and all that. But if I don't have the game in my collection physically, Dolphin and all those emulators will be a great way to fill those gaps into my gaming collection. And yeah, I probably won't have CRT filters running it through Dolphin on the Steam machine. My research shows it's a bit of a hassle to get that working properly. But, having both those options, I think would be really nice to have. And so, yeah, just like Again, people are already doing this with the Steam Deck, is using it as like an emulation handheld. And I don't really want an emulation handheld. I'd rather have the emulation set up there on the TV. So yeah, that really changed my mind. Like when I was thinking about having the Steam Machine on the big TV, on the OLED with the sound system, I'm like, why would I ever play a game on here that any game I'd play on here, I would just play on PS5. It's going to look better and run better. But now, if I put it over here where I'm playing, I have Chrono Trigger on my Steam library. I really want to play Chrono Trigger, and instead of sitting at the computer playing, I feel like I would like to roll my chair up, get real close and to the TV, having that Super Nintendo feel. I think I'd have so much more fun playing it over there. And I don't know, the Steam Machine just seems like a really clean way to set up, both my Steam library and the emulation devices as well. The third reason why the Steam Machine seems attractive to me is just the ease to move it around. So yeah, I was just talking about how I would most likely play it on this TV, but because it's so much easier to move around like a console, I could set it up on the big TV if I really wanted to. I could bring it upstairs in the living room. Like I said before, I got all those Lego games. If I want to allow the kids to play the Lego games, instead of them having to come and sit on my computer and play it, I can bring it up to the living room and play it there. I got my office upstairs where I have a TV, and I actually have a PC up there that I built in 2015, and it's not that great anymore. I can run like lower games like I'm talking about, and for a long time I'm like, oh, I really want to get an HDMI cord and like a long one, and then hook it up to the TV in the room, but I'll have this cord running throughout the room and all of that. But I've always wanted to do that, and the Steam Machine just seems like maybe it's a way cleaner solution. So it's like, yeah, I can have it down here. Let's say like a GameCube game. I have my GameCube set up here. Everything is all wired and all that's all complicated. If I get that retro tink and like some switchers, and maybe I don't want to mess around with bringing my GameCube upstairs. It'd probably be just much easier to bring that upstairs. Then all of a sudden, since I have it all set up with the emulation stuff, I can play GameCube down here. I can play GameCube upstairs, and yeah, and let's talk about like N64 for a second. If I have the N64 down here, same reason. If I want to put it upstairs and we want to play, Mario Party as a family, like it might just be way easier and cleaner to move that upstairs. I'm not gonna move this PC, this desktop tower PC upstairs whenever I just want to just play a game with the family like Mario Party. No. But the Steam Machine, because it's more smaller and compact, that seems like it'd be way easier to move around. I know with like if I got the next Xbox for $1,500, that thing's gonna be a stronger, PC, like pre-built PC, and that would go under this TV, and then this one's a lot harder to wire up and all that, and once it goes there, I'm probably not gonna want to take it out. Now, I said I might put the Steam Machine there at sometimes, but I don't know. It's gonna be a weaker thing. I probably honestly won't ever do it, but I'll have that option. And so, just the ease of moving it around, moving the system around, is a huge benefit to me personally. The fourth reason why I think I might actually want a Steam Machine, even at $1,000, is actually something that's probably a con to most people, and I kind of thought it was a con for a while, but now like my mindset has changed, and no, this is actually kind of a positive. And a lot of people say, oh, it's just a low power PC, but to me it's like it's also a PC. Again, that might seem like super hypocritical because that's what I don't want about the Xbox. The new Xbox is, it's just a PC, but here's the big difference. It's a Linux PC. I don't own a Linux PC. So all these things I've been saying about the Steam Machine, you can argue like down in the comments. You can call me. I'll be like, you can do all this stuff with the next Xbox basically. But the big difference is the next Xbox is going to be Windows based. And if you think Xbox has been bad, like just as a platform for, the past few years, like Windows has been terrible and Windows just keeps getting worse. I saw a video the other day about just the downfall of Windows and all that, and it was talking about how people are starting to get nostalgic for Windows XP. I was like, oh my god, I'm getting nostalgic for Windows XP. Like that was the greatest Windows. It was awesome. And just Windows 11 just, it's getting annoying. It's filled with bloatware and stuff, and I don't think the next Xbox is going to be clean, right? And for me to have to jump through the hoops of everything to actually use Steam, like you're probably going to have to go to the back end. And I don't think they're going to make using Steam easy in that thing. I may as well cut out that middleman. Like I want to play Steam games. I should do it on the Steam Machine, right? And it's a Linux PC. So like over the next 10 years, if we're talking about 10 years, because my two previous PCs, my one upstairs and my laptop, my Surface Book laptop, both of these are 10 years old. And so they're getting slow, like they're not running very good. I have like 3 PCs total, including this one, and then those two. So two of them are almost like barely usable. I'm almost down to 1 PC. So the fact that the Steam machine is also a PC and it's different from Windows, like it's Linux. So that's what, if Windows gets worse over the next 10 years, at least I have the Steam machine as like a Linux PC that if I have all these games, right? So if just like I don't need to use the Steam machine as just a dedicated like gaming machine, I have it as like a backup PC basically. And that's something that I'm starting to find big value out of. You can say the same thing about the Xbox, but it's a Windows machine. So if Windows gets bad, that Xbox can get bogged down. And yeah, just having a pre-built Linux machine is just getting more and more appetizing by the day. And the last reason, the fifth and final reason why I think I might want a Steam machine is honestly, I think that Valve might actually release an exclusive for the Steam machine. If they release Half-Life 3, I think it's going to be a Steam exclusive. And I think that'd be such a power play from Valve because exclusives sell consoles. Exclusives are what power the console war and the platform war. And I know some people don't like the console wars and think that's an outdated mentality, but like the best games we've ever had were during console wars, right? And the worst games, and like now, there's no competition. No one's pushing each other. We're getting not as great games. And so, because Xbox, everything's an Xbox, right? Which means the Steam machine is going to be an Xbox. So why should I even get an Xbox branded Xbox? Any Xbox game that comes out, I could play. I'll probably be able to play on Steam. And if it can't run the Steam machine because it's too low powered, I can play on this PC. But I'll probably buy most of them on PS5 because everything's an Xbox. But if Steam's the only place where you can play Half-Life 3, and I don't think they're going to put that on PS5 or Xbox. Half-Life Alyx is only on PC on Steam. And yeah, I mean that's VR, but I think they're going to use this game as an exclusive to try to sell more Steam Decks and Steam machines, and like, also just like sell the game on Steam. And yeah, it's just like why buy an Xbox? What exclusives is it going to have? And yeah, I think that's just incredibly underrated thing. I really hope they do it. I really hope Valve starts putting out exclusives to their platform because that's exciting, and Steam can actually step in. Take out Xbox and then actually start rivaling PlayStation, and we can maybe get some good games, light some fire under PlayStation, and get them to actually create some games, not just like one game per year or anything like that. That's exciting to me. And like I said, everything's in the Xbox, so may as well just, if I was going to buy an Xbox game, why would I buy it on Xbox? Everything's an Xbox. So this Steam machine is going to be an Xbox. And if you compare it to the $1,500 Xbox, it's like, yeah, that one's more expensive, but at the same time, can anyone even envision another Xbox after this next one? I can't. But if the Steam machine, yeah, if it's low powered, I can envision there being another Steam machine after this one. So anything in my digital library that's not powerful enough to be played on the Steam machine, it probably will be powerful enough on the Steam machine too. And just when I think about my current Steam library, the more I would invest in the sales. If I had something like the Steam machine, I would be getting more games. You open up the door to emulation. Like I'll get a lot of use of the Steam machine as it is, and just if I keep building up that library, then if they do make a Steam machine too, then there's another backup PC. But yeah, I don't know. There's no exclusives on Xbox anymore, so why would I invest in that library? I don't know. And so when I think about those 5 reasons, like being able to access my Steam library on TVs and not just on my computer here, using it as an emulation console pretty much, being able to easily move it to other locations in my house whenever I want to, having it as a backup computer, and then just the possibility of more Steam exclusives and just like a place where I can really feel confident in investing in that digital library. For $1,000, I think like in my situation, like I feel like that'd be worth it. I mean, a computer would last like about 10 years. So that'd be like $100 per year. That seems worth it to me. Versus like, $100 to play online for PlayStation, which, there's not going to be online paying for the Steam machine. So just canceling PlayStation Online, that would pretty much pay for the $1,000 Steam machine for the next 10 years. But yeah, I don't know if it'll be $1,000. I'm still hopeful it'll be more like $700 for the top model. I don't think it's going to be cheaper than the Nintendo Switch 2. So $600 to $700, or even $700 to $800. I mean, if I can sit here and justify maybe $1,000, if they announce it and it's $700, then it's like, yeah, I'm probably going to get a Steam machine. I think I can get a lot of use out of it. And if I start out putting it in this setup and playing it like with like retro games or just my smaller Steam games, over the course of 10 years, I think that there's a lot of flexibility with such a console where I can move it into my living room or to a different setup. And just, yeah, if Windows starts to get bad, I can use it just as a backup PC. I can be like, I'm done with Windows. This is getting annoying and a bloated mess. Let's stop gaming on the Steam machine and just use it as a PC. That's a lot. That all sounds like a lot of fun for me, and I don't really want to like tinker and like build a PC right now. I got too much going on. I kind of would just rather buy the pre-built, and it looks like a cool system. I kind of think like it's gonna be a lot smoother with like third-party controllers, and there's gonna be a really big mod scene for it, and there's gonna be some pretty cool stuff being developed for the Steam machine. So yeah, I think with all the gaming stuff I have, I think as long as that price is right and they're not like, going up to like $1,500, which I'm really going to have to think about it then. I think it can have a place in my gaming collection. And if you want to hear more about my thoughts about my gaming collection as we move into 2026 and kind of moves I'm planning on doing, check out this video next. If you made it this far, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.